Cuphead is a chaotic run-and-gun masterpiece focused on brutal boss fights and mesmerizing visuals. Don't deal with the devil, they said. It'll be fun, they said. If you haven't played the game, then at least you've probably heard of it. And if you haven't even heard of it, then I'm Mr. Liguori and I'll be your teacher for today. Class is now in session. Is that gum? Are you chewing gum? Spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out! Hey, if you think that this jacket is loud, then you ain't seen anything yet. Believe it or not, today I am not here to do a deep dive on the intricate mechanics of Cuphead or how I died on the King Dice boss rush at least 264 times. Today I'm actually going to be focusing on the faithful rubber hose style of animation that the game so wonderfully flaunts. The term rubber hose is used to describe this style of animation because of how characters' limbs would flow with smooth curves rather than drawn with harsh angles, much like how a rubber hose would flop about on a hot summer's day in the garden. I think everybody is aware of this kind of style, but with such a diverse array of detailed animation styles these days, I guess that early 30s style doesn't get much love anymore. I also want to clarify, I am talking about the 1930s. I'm very conscious that we're rapidly approaching 2030, and I don't want to date this video in a confusing way for people who are going to be watching it in the 30s. The 3030s. Animators back in the day were incredibly limited to the technology and resources at their disposal, which in my opinion makes it so much more impressive how innovative and smooth the animation is. I've never personally drawn in this style, but I've always wanted to give it a go, so I thought what better way to experiment than with a video. I asked on my Twitter for YouTubers that you would like to see drawn as Cuphead bosses, and holy shit, you guys delivered. I could only grab so many, so I picked a few that immediately sparked a visual in my mind. I wanted to draw people who either had interesting features that I could exaggerate, or just people who generally had a cool style that I could transform into this cool, simplified, cartoony look. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say the format and structure of this video is going to be a bit different to my other drawing videos, because instead of commenting live as I'm drawing, I've already done the artwork. So I'm going to be talking you through the process and the ideas behind each one. Sound good? Good. Let us begin. I want to kick things off with a staple of YouTube's finest. Pizza Time has requested the Game Grumps. So, I was immediately drawn to the Game Grumps. Oh my god, no pun intended. Genuinely, oh my god. I was immediately drawn to the Game Grumps because Danny and Aaron have such loud characteristics, and I mean that in the nicest, best possible way. So this drawing has got several layers to it, so let me break it down for you. Something made me want to draw the Grumps as the Mario Brothers. I do not know for why, I just did. But like evil Mario Brothers, I guess. So it's kind of like a game within a game situation. I really like the idea of the Mario Brothers being secret Cuphead bosses, because Cuphead and Mugman have the same kind of brotherly energy as the Mario Bros. This was a really nice drawing to just ease myself into the style, because I could model the character designs off of the Mario Brothers and also the iconic Big Head Game Grumps intro. Now, I'm aware in the past Aaron has actually said that he doesn't know why people draw him shorter than Danny, because they're pretty much the same height, but for some reason it just felt right. I'm sorry. Okay, next up, Ollie has requested Seth Everman. Everman? One of those. Seth Everman, the king of straight-faced musical madness. Seth's best feature has undoubtedly got to be his head area. His head is beautifully bulbous. That is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying today. So I wanted to transform him into kind of an Andros-esque floating head boss. I also wanted to play with a trope that happens in old cartoons like Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. Remember when a character would get flattened by a piano, yet would somehow not break a single bone in its body? But the teeth? No. The teeth were obliterated and somehow replaced with piano keys. That one. I wanted to do that one. This boss's quirk is that it's a puppet master of musical notation, obviously, and it fires musical notes at you that you've got to blast. The colors for this one ended up being kind of wacky, and honestly, this is my least favorite drawing. I just feel like it doesn't really look like Seth at all, but I tried my best. So next up, Kiera has suggested Tessa Violet. Excellent suggestion. I have been a fan of Tessa's for quite some years now, all the way back from when she used to call herself Mika Kitty and wear ginormous glasses. However, that is not the look we're going for today. I thought her current style was her most recognizable right now, with her yellow hair and her love of colorful jumpsuits. Researching rubber hose female characters was a little bit tricky. I couldn't find that many good references where the women weren't just dressed really skimpy with ginormous breasts. Maybe that is why this style was left in the past. Basically, I'm not interested in trying to replicate it that specifically, but it did start to come together nicely, and towards the end I started to think, how is this going to be a Cuphead boss? So I've given her a kind of colorful energy ball that sort of suits the pose. I also then duplicated her because I thought it'd be interesting if when you get the boss down to a certain level of health, she multiplies and her clones start attacking you. I'm into it. I'm into it. Next, Euphoric Peach has suggested Brandon Rogers. Brandon Rogers is one of those YouTubers who I pretty much watch as soon as they upload a video. And everything he uploads is of such high quality and production value. If you don't know who Brandon Rogers is, he makes dark, offensive comedy sketches featuring all sorts of eccentric characters that he's created over the years. That was actually the first thing my mind went to. I wanted to do something for this design including a few of his characters. At first I was thinking some kind of a Hydra with multiple heads, but then I realized I can't draw a Hydra, but I can draw a robot with juggling interchangeable heads that it can put on to change its attacks. We got it, we got it, we got it. I'm actually really happy with how this one came out, so that is 2 thumbs up from me and 2 pinkies. Adeline has requested Savannah Brown. Savannah was a really interesting one to try and draw because she has had many iconic styles over the years. White hair, black hair, blue hair, brown hair, she's had it all, which made it difficult to decide a specific direction to go in. So I decided to go for an extremely specific look. As well as being a fantastic author, she has also done acting in the past. She's appeared in many productions, such as, just a few off the top of my head, the music video for You by Dodie, the famous comedy sketch New Glasses, and of course, Bertie Gilbert's film Let It Be, where she plays the metaphorical embodiment of death, which is pretty badass. This was the look I wanted to draw. In the film, she looks almost skeletal, and when you first see her, she's wielding a gun, so I wanted to make that one of her main features. But a Cuphead boss wouldn't just wield 1 gun, no. It would wield 6. I'm actually really happy with how this one turned out because it actually looks how I wanted it to look, so that is a yes from me. Dog. Jack Be Nimble has requested Dodie, or Double Blobble, as she was once known back in her former years. The first thing I ever think of when I think of Dodie these days is her terrifyingly iconic cameo in the Monster music video. Mine and Dodie's cameos in the music video present us as these kind of humanoid, weird creatures. I'm a dark, mysterious gothic lobster, obviously. And Dodie is a forest spirit with poisonous flowers sprouting from her head. Did I mention that I directed this music video? This was clearly the look I needed to draw. I wanted to make her large and floaty and super evil looking. I've gone with the kind of demon thorn queen vibe. In my personal lore, the eyes on her face have been painted on. They're not real eyes. Her real eyes are actually in the buds of the flowers that are extruding from her forehead. And with that, she can see everything. And I do mean everything. I don't know what I mean by that. And finally, half of my mentions requested that I draw PewDiePie. Now, I'm not doing this just because a bunch of 9-year-olds bombarded me on Twitter with requests. No, no, no. I'm not that easily swayed. No, I'm actually doing this because I actually had a very specific idea in my mind of how this would look. I wanted to do something that I really like in games and anime, where the final boss is not some huge hulking monster, but rather they're smaller and have more of a compact frame. Akira Toriyama famously does this in Dragon Ball Z with his villains. Their earlier forms are usually a little bit larger and thicker, and then as they transform into their final form, they become smaller and more petite. Less intimidating looking, but wildly stronger. That is a really weird way to describe what I was going for, but it kind of makes sense to me. I've also given him some springy arms with bro fists on the end for punching, kind of inspired by Nintendo's game Arms. I don't know, thought it'd make a pretty cool special attack. And then the finishing touch was to make his loyal pooch Edgar Demon Lord as chaotic and demonic looking as possible. I think we got there. And there we go. Considering I've never really dabbled in the style before, I'm actually very pleased with how these have come out. I really enjoyed getting to research old artwork for inspiration. I think it's really important to practice other art styles from time to time. At least for me, because I know that I get very comfortable with a particular style, and then like a whole year will pass and I'll be like, hey, I didn't learn anything new with drawing this year and I haven't really progressed. Let me know in the comments what kind of other art style you might want to see me try and attempt to draw. And if you enjoyed this video, please throw me a like, and also subscribe if you're new around here. And also do me a favor and ring that bell so you're notified of when I upload videos, because I've got some films coming out real soon that you are not going to want to miss. All right, let's go kill those bosses.
Here's a real high-class bout. It's on!